everyone. Welcome to the Mobile Device Manager Plus 2022 webinar. We have quite a handsome turnout today, and we are very happy to have you all here with us. Before we get into the session, let's talk a bit about this year in general. This year has further proven to us the benefits of hybrid work, with several organizations inviting their employees back to the offices while still allowing them the flexibility of remote work. In this process, managing the endpoints used for work can present IT admins with new problems that require them to come up with intuitive solutions. And that's exactly what we are going to discuss today. We'll be seeing how ManageEngine MDM can help you make device management easier. Let me first introduce myself. I'm Abita, a product specialist at ManageEngine, and I have the pleasure of handling this session today. Let's take a quick look at what we have planned for this session. We'll start off with an overview of the ManageEngine ecosystem. After this, we'll take a look at our achievements and recognitions this year. And then we'll get to the main focus of this session, which includes the updates we have introduced. Our updates this year are aimed at empowering the IT admin with a focus on three core components of MDM, which are device management automation, user experience enrichment, and device security enhancement. Once that's covered, we'll get to the most exciting part of today's session, where we'll take a sneak peek at just a few of the upcoming features and updates to Mobile Device Manager Plus. So be sure to stay tuned till the end of the webinar. So allow me to introduce you to the ManageEngine ecosystem. I'm really proud to say that this year, ManageEngine is celebrating its 20th anniversary of success in the IT management market. We've been helping organizations combat challenges in IT through our 6 major offerings, and this slide here gives you a picture of these suites. We help run IT and security operations smoothly, starting with the backbone of all operations, which is ticketing. Since many tasks begin and revolve around tickets, we have created a full-stack enterprise service management solution to cover not just ticketing, but also your IT asset management and IT workflow orchestration needs. Just like ticketing, another solution whose existence is of paramount importance in an organization is identity and access management. We help configure, backup, and secure user identities critical to ensure business continuity. Our Identity and Access Management Suite also focuses on securing access to on-premises and cloud apps through single sign-on and multi-factor authentication. Keeping a track of privileged access in the network is critical to security, and we help achieve these capabilities as well through our IAM suite. For improved risk analysis and increased security posture, our security information and event management capabilities come in handy. Our AI-based user and entity behavior analytics offers real-time analysis of security alerts and risks across customers' IT infrastructures. Managing and securing end-user devices is as critical as any other activity because these devices are the medium through which your users get all their work done. Our unified endpoint management and security solution helps achieve this through a unified console covering all the major device types and operating systems. Mobile Device Manager Plus is a part of this suite. Similar to end-user devices, network endpoints can be managed from a unified space with our IT Operations Management Suite. The capabilities of this suite spans across enterprise network endpoints, servers, and even applications. ManageEngine App Creator is a low-code application development platform that lets IT build custom applications rapidly and launch them on-premises. IT teams can collaborate, develop, deploy, and maintain applications and business process workflows faster and with less effort. All these IT management and security operations are not complete without a full-fledged reporting tool. Tying all these solutions up, we have Advanced Analytics, which is our business intelligence offering that pulls in meaningful data from the other 5 verticals to provide IT admins with rich insights, which is much necessary for informed decision-making. Our goal here at ManageEngine is to unify IT and security operations and we are constantly striving towards that. All our offerings are tightly integrated to form an application ecosystem for your business. Let's now dive into the core of today's session, starting off with our achievements for this year. We've been recognized by leading analysts like Gartner, Forrester, and IDC, with IDC's MarketScape reports ranking us as a market leader. In addition to this, leading industry experts have also awarded us with recognitions. For instance, Expert Insights ranked us as the top UEM tool, and G2 has ranked us within the top 50 IT management tools across all verticals. Moreover, we have also been recognized by other industry experts like PC Mag, Tech Radar, Software Reviews, Solutions Review, and Comparitech. A great contributor towards receiving these awards is the positive customer feedback and ratings we were given across multiple channels. So we would like to extend our deepest gratitude to our customers in the audience today. Now let's see how we have empowered IT admins across the globe. Endpoint management is becoming more and more popular with organizations of all types and sizes. IT admins are looking for new ways to bring more endpoints comprehensively and securely under the umbrella of management. Compared to 2021, we have enabled 21% more IT admins to manage their organization's endpoints. And as of 2022, we are proud to say that more than 19 million endpoints across the globe are being secured and managed by ManageEngine. This year alone, there have been over 90,000 application and firmware updates on mobile endpoints, which have been managed and automated by IT admins across devices using our product. Moreover, IT admins have made use of our product and assisted their end users with over 120,000 remote sessions using our intuitive remote assistance tool. And that's not all. We have also conducted several events, webinars, and personalized demo sessions this year. We have held over 75 free training sessions that take users through each module of our UEM suite with a live demo of all the most used features. We have also participated in and hosted over 100 seminars, live events, and user conferences. Additionally, we have also provided over 9,500 free and personalized product demo sessions. If you're interested in a product demo, we'd be happy to schedule one at a time that's convenient for you. Just drop your interest in the chat section and we'll get in touch with you. We'll now look at the updates and features we have added to the product this year. As I mentioned before, the updates we have released this year focus on providing 3 core benefits to our users. These are further automating device management functions, enriching the employee's experience, and enhancing the device user's security. The end goal of all these updates is to make MDM even more easier for you, no matter the number, type, or OS of the endpoints you manage. Let's first look at how we have enhanced automation in MDM. MDM already offers several features that relieve IT admins of manually configuring and monitoring corporate devices. Now, even with these features in place, there are certain scenarios where device management can take a toll on the IT admin. For instance, some tasks might still need to be manually performed, taking up a lot of the IT admin's time, and for every moment the task is incomplete, the admin's desk piles up with even more tickets. Talking about these hassles brings us to one of our favorite customer stories of 2022. Sometime earlier this year, one of our largest customers from the FMCG industry approached our support team with a request to help move their entire on-premise setup to a Zoho Cloud instance. Transitioning management to cloud is a trend that we've observed for some time, and it provides great benefits like reduced overheads, better security, and easier setup. As a matter of fact, this year we saw a 43% increase in our cloud adoption. However, for this customer, the process of migration was a major challenge because they could not afford to lose the data that was already there on their devices and knew that this process would cause delays and bottlenecks in their operations. They also had to find a way to bring all their managed devices to a single place to deprovision them and then later re-enroll them to their new cloud server. The efforts and resources required to execute it would by far de-incentivize the move to cloud and bring down their ROI. Luckily for them, we already had the migration tool in the works and we were able to assist them in this endeavor. Before we conclude with migration, let's have a quick poll to hear back from our audience. We'll have the poll initiated now. Here's the question. Are you already on cloud or using a unified device management tool or considering moving to this strategy? The options we have are, we're already on the cloud, we are considering moving to the cloud, we already use UEM, and finally, we are considering moving to UEM. You can select multiple answers for this one. Let's wait a couple of minutes for the answers to roll in. And while we do that, let's talk about some interesting facts about Mobile Device Manager Plus. I'm sure many of our audience members are already aware of this, but did you know that with Mobile Device Manager Plus, you can remotely troubleshoot your managed Apple and Android devices? You can initiate a remote troubleshooting session right from your MDM console with no additional downloads needed to quickly resolve any technical issues on the devices. We seem to have the answers in, so let's go over the results. It appears as though a majority of our audiences are already on the cloud, while quite a few are considering moving to the UEM and the cloud version. This doesn't come as a surprise because more and more organizations are indeed moving to the cloud or are looking for one single unified console to manage every aspect of every endpoint in their organization, which requires them to switch from MDM to unified endpoint management. So if your organization is planning to make any such switches from on-premises or even other tools like Apple Profile Manager or even upgrade to our UEMS suite, you will not have to worry about manually reconfiguring everything. Our native tool can effortlessly carry out your migration process and bring your existing devices, groups, configuration profiles, apps, and settings to your new server without manual intervention. If you're making a switch to Mobile Device Manager Plus from another solution, we'll help you manage that as well as we're adding more capabilities to our migration tool. Apart from migration, we've also made device enrollment easier. If you've ever enrolled Android devices using Android Zero Touch, you might have noticed how long it takes to set up the Android for Work portal, then your Google Zero Touch, have it integrated with your MDM server, ensure all the right details are filled in, and finally having your devices enrolled into MDM. This process can involve a lot of back and forth between windows, so we have simplified it for you by bringing the Zero Touch portal into the MDM server. This can help make the integration process a lot easier, quicker, and seamless. We have introduced something for our Apple users as well. A few of our customers managing Apple devices had their purchased devices added to the Apple Business Manager portal by their resellers on a scheduled basis. And in these scenarios, it was difficult for the organizations to ensure the devices are provisioned and work ready before being delivered to employees. To handle these scenarios better, we have made it possible to customize the ABM portal sync time as per your own reseller schedule so that the devices are enrolled and provisioned correctly before being given to your employees. This means devices will get added to the MDM server as and when your reseller adds them to your ABM portal, ensuring all devices are enrolled into MDM when they're activated. The step that comes right after enrollment is provisioning. With this in mind, we have released several updates that aim to make provisioning automated, quicker, and easier for you. If your organization provides device users with eSIMs to be used on the device, you might be all too familiar with the hassles this process can bring. First, you need to collect all device details such as IMEIs, MEIDs, and export them to your cellular provider. Then you need to activate the eSIM plans on each device manually. In addition to this, there is always the possibility of the SIMs being misused or added to a personal device. With our new eSIM management feature, you won't have to worry about any of this. You can distribute and bind eSIMs in bulk to devices with just a few clicks. You can export up-to-date device reports containing just the necessary details to your cellular provider, and once the plans are available, you can remotely activate them on devices in bulk automatically. And then you can apply restrictions to prevent your corporate eSIMs from being misused or removed from the devices. Moving on to another important aspect of provisioning, we have app distribution. Adding multiple versions of enterprise apps for testing has been one of our most popular features, and our customers have always been looking to test Play Store apps before they are deployed to their production environments. So, in the same vein, we have made it possible to test and deploy Play Store apps to your devices by leveraging our Android for Work integration. This makes it possible to avail pre release and beta versions of the app you use and test them before the app update is rolled out to the Play Store. The app developers can make the pre release versions available for you through the Android for Work integration. For Apple devices, if you're managing app purchases across several office locations or departments, each with individual budgets and app requirements, it might seem impossible to manage apps for all the teams at the same time. With our update this year, we have made it possible to add multiple ABM location tokens to the same MDM console. This will allow you to volume purchase apps for different teams and manage them all from one unified console, saving you tons of time. Speaking of saving time, many of our customers love the usability and versatility of our remote troubleshooting capabilities and the fact that it makes resolving issues much quicker. But let's say that a mission critical frontline workers device that is currently unattended is facing a specific app issue which needs to be resolved immediately. While troubleshooting an application issue, a simple yet effective resolution is to quickly reset the app data and relaunch the app. Using MDM, you can now remotely reset an app, which is especially useful for unattended or frontline devices without even having to establish a dedicated remote session. This feature can also come in handy when you have shared devices being used by shift-based employees or when you need to quickly reprovision devices for the next project or event. An app data reset executed before each shift can relieve IT admins taking the time to reprovision the device to provide users a fresh workspace. You can integrate these APIs with your attendance management or guest management systems, for example, to automate your business processes. Let's now see how we can make things easier and better for your employees. And that brings us to our updates that are aimed at enriching employees' experience. But before we move on to that, we'd like to hear back from our audience again with another poll. Let's have the second poll initiated now. Here's our question. How many of you have frontline devices that need to be managed in your organization? So here are our options. The majority of our devices are frontline. We have an equal mix of both frontline and knowledge workers. Our fleet has a few frontline devices. And finally, we have no frontline devices, just knowledge workers. While the answers roll in, let's talk about our free trial and free edition. If you wish to explore Mobile Device Manager Plus, we have a free 30-day trial that's fully featured, through which you can explore all the features of ManageEngine MDM and manage an unlimited number of devices. If you find Mobile Device Manager Plus to be the right MDM tool for your organization, you can seamlessly move from the trial version to one of our paid editions, ensuring continued management of your devices. We also offer a free edition that allows you to manage up to 25 devices, and this free edition is also fully featured. I think we have our answers in now, so let's take a quick look at them. It appears as though we have an equal number of audiences having chosen options A and B. That is, a majority of the devices are frontline and that they have an equal mix of both frontline and knowledge workers. This makes it clear that most organizations have a good mix of both frontline and knowledge workers. So let's see why and how we can enrich the employee experience in both of these cases. If you have frontline devices, it's crucial for these devices to be provisioned to cater to every need of those device users to ensure a good experience. For devices that are provisioned to your knowledge workers, it's good to make sure that the device has all the resources it needs, as this can help boost the user's productivity. Devices on the front lines and kiosk devices require to be locked down with security hardening, strict restrictions, and just the necessary apps. However, even on these devices, device users will need some amount of freedom and flexibility to modify device settings as per their needs. To provision better devices with better functionalities for your frontline users, without compromising the device security, you can have a custom settings app on the devices with more granular configurations than ever before. For instance, you can allow your device users to customize their device keyboards, modify Bluetooth settings, and even resolve technical issues themselves by resetting the device connections using flight mode. Better devices and happier employees always result in better productivity. Let's see a few ways through which you can keep your knowledge workers happier with better provision devices. To improve device user productivity, it's best to ensure that the devices are set up the way your employee likes it. You can relieve your employees from OS updates on their devices when they are on extended breaks or holidays. You can do this by proactively setting up OS update freeze periods to ensure they are not disturbed during their time off. This can be implemented until they are back to work, at which point you can have the latest updates installed. Additionally, you can also configure these well in advance for high business volume days like Black Friday, so device users aren't affected at those times. We already provide several features that allow you to manage, schedule, and even block the OS updates installed on your devices, including the management of OEM vendor device firmware updates. The OS update freeze will be another addition to our OS update management capabilities to facilitate our users to proactively deal with every scenario. Before we move to the next device configuration that aims to enrich the employee's experience, let's take a look at one of our more interesting user stories of this year. One of our prominent customers from the transport industry had enrolled their employees' personal devices with a virtual corporate workspace on the device. This, however, led to the device users, who are mainly delivery drivers, not being able to access the information they needed easily. For example, if they had to view their appointments for the day, they had to switch between their personal and corporate calendars, which can be very confusing. Moreover, because of the containerization, the details of any work calls received would not be displayed on their vehicle's interface, despite them having the device connected to the vehicle. Fortunately, we help them set up connected apps using MDM, which allows both personal and work data to be accessed from within the same app interface. They could now access their work and personal appointments from the same calendar app and plan their day better while also staying connected to their organization even when they were on a delivery drive. Moving on to the next method to enrich your employees' experience, you can ensure devices are provisioned with apps that are ready to use as soon as your employees access them without needing any additional configurations. Users might have confusions on what app permissions or notifications they need to allow and which ones they should deny. This can sometimes lead to unnecessary permissions being allowed and necessary permissions being denied. You can relieve your users of these decisions by configuring app permissions and notifications in advance from the MDM server, also ensuring critical work apps can access the required permissions and display the needed notifications to function properly. Another important aspect of boosting user productivity has always been keeping your users in the loop. Keeping users informed and educated about the extent of management can be a vital part of them accepting the MDM policies. You can facilitate this by having devices display an employee-friendly custom message from your IT team when restricted functionalities are accessed by the user. Now that we have a way to keep our employees in the loop about the policies applied on their device, let's take a look at the updates we have introduced to keep security threats at bay. Ensuring device and data security has always been a crucial part of IT, as data leaks can result in expensive compliance breaches. Keeping the rising security threats in mind, let's see how you can keep your managed devices and the data on these devices protected from these security threats. There are various avenues for data leaks, both when the data is at rest on the device as well as when it is being transmitted during communications. You can now baseline your security on devices with added restrictions, and to protect device data on the move, you can enforce the use of secure protocols like IKv2 and IP4sec in your VPN connections, and even configure the firewall settings on Mac devices. To protect data at rest, you can configure even more stronger password requirements, restrict data exports through physical accessories, and other unauthorized devices. You can protect devices from malicious payloads by restricting the installation of third party configuration profiles. And to improve your organization's security posture, you can boost your zero trust environment by ensuring devices are constantly verified by leveraging Apple's managed device attestation. You can make sure only attested devices are accessing your organization's resources by leveraging the Acme CA integration, which allows you to bulk distribute certificates with just a few clicks. Now we are at the most awaited part of the session, where we'll see some of the features we have in the works. As I had mentioned before, app testing has always been one of our more popular features. Apart from app testing, we are working to empower you to have app updates distributed to your devices based on custom policies. You will be able to configure different update schedules for each app. This will give you the flexibility to make sure that critical app updates are under your control and can be tested, while other apps are automatically updated without your intervention. Both tested and automated updates can then be distributed outside of work hours to maintain your users' productivity by ensuring devices and device apps don't go down during work. Another benefit from this feature is that you'd be able to configure multiple app update policies to match the schedules of different teams using different set of apps. We have another update upcoming that will focus on automating device onboarding. You can configure multiple enrollment invites with custom workflows that automatically define departments and user assignment. You can also specify device naming to make sure devices are automatically named as per the role. Before we move on to the next feature, I'd like to remind you all that we have an expert panel waiting to answer any questions that you have. So feel free to send the questions our way. Up next is one of our most requested features, and we are bringing it to you quite soon. With our upcoming telecom expense management capabilities, you can expect to gain complete transparency of the telecom expenditures incurred by your managed devices. You'll be able to monitor and control the data spent by devices and set custom plans for devices based on their group to ensure each team has the right resources allocated. You can also alert users and keep yourself informed about each device's usage and generate insightful reports based on this. This can allow you to identify unnecessary expenditures and avenues for improvement, thereby allowing you to frame better telecom expense plans. Apart from this, we are also currently working on adding even more configurations to the Windows kiosks, including the possibilities to deploy web kiosks. We'll also be introducing several new configurations for Chrome OS devices that are currently only available on the Google Admin portal. You can expect to be the first ones to manage these configurations from your unified MDM console. Moreover, we're also working on event alerts to keep track of critical events and get notified in real time in case of incidents like a SIM card change, multiple passport failure attempts, location services being disabled, and others. This will help you stay on top of critical device events and ensure corporate devices aren't being misused. And finally, we'll very soon have our own admin app released through which you can carry out remote commands on your managed devices right from your own mobile device. You can expect to execute device scans to gather real time information from your devices or quickly help a user reset device passcodes or log down and track devices that are reported as lost. These actions can prove to be quite useful, especially when you're dealing with an emergency situation that requires you to secure a misplaced or stolen device when you're away from your workstation. You can ensure your devices are secure and having a password lock on them by putting the device into lost mode and then work on recovering it by initiating an alarm or tracking its location. If the device still proves to be irrecoverable, a data wipe can be initiated to ensure the data on the device doesn't fall into the wrong hands. It's time for one last poll. Before a live Q&A session, we'd like to have one more poll, and here's our question. What would you like to see in your MDM solution? The options we have are telecom expense management, admin app, Chrome policies and Windows web kiosks, and finally automated app updates and device event alerts. And while we wait for the answers to come in, I'd like to talk about our demo program. If you're already using MDM or you're evaluating using Mobile Device Manager Plus and wish to explore the product a little bit more, we can schedule a free and personalized demo of the product at a time of your convenience. Just drop in your interest in the chat section here and we'll get in touch with you. Now we have our answers. It seems as though the admin app is one of the most expected features, closely followed by automated app updates and device event alerts. The other two features aren't very far off either. We'll very soon be bringing all of these features right to your Mobile Device Manager Plus console to help you manage your organization's devices better. If you have any other questions in mind, you can always send them our way by mailing our support team at mdm-support@manageengine.com. If you're evaluating our product or looking to upgrade to our UEMS suite offering, you can get in touch with our sales team for a personalized quote. If you're interested in exploring Mobile Device Manager Plus a little bit more, we'd be happy to provide a free and personalized demo at your request. We'll be having a feedback survey shown to you after the webinar is done, where you can rate the presentation and share your product feedback with us. And with that, we are at the end of today's session. We would like to thank everyone who joined us today and made it such a lively session. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day ahead.